And today I'm talking about Nigeria tax reform. And please like, share, follow button, subscribe, everything, whatever. So today we are going to be talking about the Nigerian tax reform bill, and I feel like it's something that many people don't know about. How we just collect federal value-added taxes. How do the government share it? Okay, sometime in 2024, the state governors, especially from the northern states, were all over the news crying for help on why the president had all of a sudden wanted to change the bill on how they were sharing the value-added taxes. And what was this bill? How is it? Then let's go into it. But before then, we will need to understand the sharing formula. The sharing formula at which the government is currently working on. If you look at it, the Nigeria generates about 1.5 trillion, 985 billion to 1.5 trillion every quarter. So we have 4 quarters a year. You expect you can calculate the numbers. But for the sake of calculation, because you're going to be doing a lot of them today, we are going to be assuming that okay, Nigeria generates 100 billion naira per month. Nigeria generates 100 billion naira per month. So everything I'll be saying is going to be based on this particular number, 100 billion naira. What is the current sharing formula? It's that the federal government takes 15% of the 100 billion naira assumed price. The federal government takes 15%, state government takes 50%, and local government takes 35%. That means the whole 36 states plus the federal capital territory, if they should combine and make 100 billion naira, the federal government takes 15 billion naira out of it, which is what 50% of the 100 billion assumed price. The state takes 50 billion naira, while the local government takes 35 billion naira. We have about 774 local governments in Nigeria, and we have numerous local government development areas. So they share this 35 billion naira. We don't know exactly the sharing figure or the sharing formula at which the local government shares it, but the state is what we are dealing with, because that's where the major of this particular money is going into. Now, the states that share 50 billion naira, how did the state share it? That's where we are going to be talking about the current sharing formula. Right now, the states, they share in 3 categories. Category 1 is on equity, 2 is on population, 3 is on derivative. I'll explain what that means now. Equity means that everybody is collecting equal amount of money regardless of the amount you are contributing to it, and the sharing is 50%. So if, for example, everybody contributes 100 million, as I've said, 50%, 15 to federal government, 10 to local government, and $50 billion, right? 50% of that money, which is 50 billion naira, is shared equally among everybody. That means 25 billion naira that is from the state government's money is shared equally among the 37 states, regardless of the amount of money you put into the revenue. Whether you are contributing the highest, as Lagos is, or you are contributing the lowest, regardless, you are collecting equal amount. 30% is based on population. If you look at it, this was the census as 2023. I got this from Wikipedia. Top 10 of the states, top 10 of the most populated states, about 6 of them are from the north. Look at this. Kano. The top 10 are Kano, Lagos, Katsina, Kaduna, Bauchi, Oyo, Anambra, Rivers, Jigawa, Niger, Benue, Borno as at 2023. Let's count the amount of northern states that are there. Kano, Katsina, Bauchi, Jigawa, Niger, Borno. 6 out of these 10 states are from what? Are from the north, and they take 30% of the state government share, which is the 50 billion naira. They take 30% of it. They take 30%, which is about what? 15 billion naira. So this is shared based on how populated your state is. So if your state is the least populated, you are not going to be getting much funding as populated states here, right? And we'll see how this affects the northern states in a moment. I said here that the president said, oh no, this cannot continue. The problem is 6 out of the 10 most populated states in Nigeria from the north, and they take majority of this money share. The third one is on derivative. Derivative is, in pidgin language, as you take work, now you go take shop. That means the more you contribute to the value added taxes, the more money you are taking out. That means if you are contributing less, you are collecting less. If you are contributing more, and this takes just 20%, that means they will take 10 billion naira. which is just 20% of the 50 billion. And people, states like Lagos State are going to be enjoying this the most, but we'll continue in this case. So why were the Northerners now crying? The President Tinubu, as at November or October about 2024, decided that no, this cannot continue. Now said, okay, let's restructure the tax. Let's do a tax reform bill and let's see something different. President Tinubu now sat down with economists and said, okay, let's do something new. I said, okay, now we are still assuming that the federal government are taking 100 billion naira. How is this going to change? The federal government before it was taking 15 billion, 50% of the total money, but now the federal government wants to take 10%. The state government wants to take 55%, and the local government remain unchanged at 35%. Now, how do they want to share this money? The state government that you are considering, the state government which are taking 55%, that means it's no longer 50 billion naira, it's 55 billion naira. Yeah, they said, President Tinubu said 20% is going to equity, 20% is going to population, 60% is going to what? Derivative. What does this mean? Now, equity, like we said, is equality. Everybody combined together, we are going to take equal amounts. And the equality is what? 20%, which is reducing our 25 billion naira down to what? 11 billion naira. But this is, okay, before I talk about how this affects, this is 11 billion naira. Population as well was formerly what? Was formerly, population, equity was formerly 50%. Population was 30, while derivative is 20. But now it is what? 20, 20, 60. Population before, where the Northerners take much advantage, has now been reduced to 20%. It doesn't really affect, it doesn't really make any effect here much. But because the money has reduced both in equity and in population, then they have a major problem, because they are not able to what? Take enough money from both derivative, for both population and equity. If you should look at derivative now, which is 60%, that's about 33 billion naira. The highest internal generated revenue in Nigeria is at 2023. Let's count the states that were there. Lagos had the highest. Look at the figures. Lagos has the highest, over 815.86 billion naira. This is it. 815.86 billion naira. The second is FCT, which is 211.10 billion naira. Rivers followed by Ogun, followed by Delta, followed by Edo, followed by Kaduna, followed by Kwara, Oyo, Akwa Ibom. How many northern states are here? That is the question. If you look at the 10 lowest internally generated revenue for 2023, the lowest is Taraba State with 10.87 billion naira, followed by Yobe, followed by Kebbi, followed by Adamawa, followed by Sokoto, followed by Benue, followed by Borno, followed by Bauchi, followed by Bayelsa, followed by Imo. If you look at this trend, how many states? About 6 out of the 10 least revenue generating states in Nigeria are from the north. Now, President Tinubu said what? 60% has to be from derivative. That means as you take pour into it, that means people that will enjoy the 60% derivative are what? Are this, most likely these 10 states and the following states like that accordingly. And these 10 states, which is what? Which means that the northern states, I don't want to put all the northern states together, but most of the northern states are going to suffer from this new tax reform bill, right? But then they are still the most populated states in Nigeria. We looked at it, they were still the most populated states in Nigeria. 6 out of them are populated, yet they are the one that generates the least amount of money in Nigeria, which is a major problem because they are more populated and generate least amount of money. The only state that is populated that generates most money now is Lagos State. It's the most populated, second most populated state in Nigeria and generates the highest revenue. And the gap difference between Lagos State and the second is about 600 billion naira. This gap is too much. Look at the trend for the least. Look at the trend for the highest. Anyways, now we look at, so after this, the northern states started crying that this cannot work for them. They now decided that okay, let them to sit down and do a state government reform bill. You can check this on Vanguard. You can get all this this thing online. I got this chart from Business Day, NIBS, data appears. I got this from there. You can also go online and check. So this the state government has decided that okay, you can check this on Vanguard. That's decided that okay, they themselves want to have their own say. They sat down together and decided that they want a new reform. And this is the reform they came. They said 50% equity that we maintain now should maintain. The current one that they are using to share revenue now, equity is what? 50%. Population is 30% before. Population is 20% according to the state government reform. Derivatives, which is 20% before, is now 30%. Meaning that they still want to keep their 50% equity, but now they said 20% is going to population and 30% to derivatives. I don't know which one pays. So my final thought, Don Azar, from one of my mentors from TikTok, said okay, let's try and do this way. His own view is, his opinion is 50% equity, 50% derivatives, remove population, which I agree. Because why would you have 50%? Why would you have a populated state and they can't take advantage of their economy? Imagine Lagos being the second most populated state in Nigeria and cannot live up to that expectation. Why is your state populated and you cannot fund your the economy of your state? Why? I mean, it is something that state governors should look into. But my own personal suggestion, which can be a lost screw, is that the federal government can set up a board under an existing ministry, so it will not cost them another billionaire in the economy, to supervise and supersede the amount of money that each state is generating and is supposed to remit to the federal government, after which 20% is taken to the government. From each state is taken to the government. The remaining 80% is pushed back to the state, which the state is used to run its economy. So for example, now Taraba state that has 10 billion naira, if you take 20% of this, I don't know the maths, but let me guess, maybe it's about 900 million naira is taken to the government. The remaining money, let it go back into the state pocket and let them use it to invest, because at most of these times many of them budget far beyond. Another video I'm going to talk about the budgeting of each state, the amount they need, and compare it to the revenue they generate. In my last write-up and video, I talked about the 2025 budget, Nigerian budget, and we see how we are budgeting way beyond the amount we are spending. It's also boiled down to the state government. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you so much for sticking to this one. See you on the next one. Thank you.